Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Caveman to Cosmos with me, Alpha Pi Omega in Byzantium. So the turn is 6496, year 1499 AD, and we're one turn away from free Artistry. So what's new? Well, not much, to be honest. We have a lot of things that we are planning to do in our cities. Most of them working on things like family farms, zoos, which are surprisingly good when it comes to both financial and science income. But I guess, watching animals and studying them does have a lot of benefits. We are doing sort of okay in everything. I realized recently that I haven't really shown you for a while the stats for the cities, education, crime, and disease. So here's the stats. The worst city when it comes to education is Athenopolis, but its education is rising by 23 per turn. Second is Justiniana. What's the name? Justiniana Nova, alright, which has 2,845, and its education is also rising by 9. And then the third one is Kherson with 3,004 with 28 increase. Generally speaking, you can see that it's increasing across the actually in all of the cities, with exception of a couple ones, and those are at 0. That's really interesting. I guess a lot of those buildings that we're building right now are really helping with education. So it is true that we have an extremely highly educated population. Whereas Constantinople? Here. So Constantinople has 6,164 education with a slight rise of 2. The highest education is in Varna of all cities, 7,310 with an increase of 7. Interesting. As far as crime goes, the lowest one is in Thessaloniki, 1,734 negative. With population 34, that's crazy. And the highest crime is at Maurocastrum with negative 70 with no change. Do we have any places that are changing major rate? Not really. I haven't really been paying much attention to crime recently. And when it comes to disease, same situation. The worst off city is Maurocastrum with negative 291, and the best city being Edessa with 1,577 negative. When it comes to the population sizes, you can see that we're doing sort of good. Constantinople still at 47 with really decent stats, followed by Laodicea, Adi, and Misitras, Philippopolis. And when it comes to the smallest cities, we have only 2 below 10. Kherson is actually at 10 now, Justiniana Nova at 9, and Athenopolis at 8. The rest of the cities are at least at 21 and higher. Again, we have so much to build that I'm neglecting the cities in the south, but I've been pouring a lot of money into Kherson while trying to actually play a little bit around using spies with the 2 cities down here, seeing if we can actually do some major damage to them or not. It depends. I haven't really seen much effect yet, so we'll see if we can build it up a little. As far as that goes, not much else to say. Our army is stationed in the Greek territory, just resting there with all of the healers and mechanics and so on. So I think that's everyone there, everyone is there. So yeah, again, just spending time burning through turns, trying to micro all of the cities, making sure that they increase our science output, our cultural output, and our financial input, because we have a pretty high negative right now, minus 45,925. Again, we have a huge treasury, so we're not even immediate, in long-term danger, but still, being so deep is a little bit disconcerting. But the fact is that with the money that we pulled into Kherson, we actually had to do that, so there really isn't any way around. We need to stabilize the city. Last but not least, I wanted to mention not civics. The foreign advisor. We've been really living in a very prosperous times, with the small exception of war with Israel recently. We have peace with everyone, and it makes me happy because it makes the game much more smooth. We don't really have to fight anyone, and we can just focus on developing inwardly, which is doing us a lot of good. Yeah, population rising, approval rate not that high, nor is life expectancy, and the exports are terrible. But other than that, we are the most dominant empire. By like the second biggest one is Persia, and it's less than 1/4 of our size. So anyway, let's hear it for free Artistry and see what we're gonna get.
A great book provides escapism for me. The artistry and the creativity in a story are better than any drugs.
So free artistry is a really dominant technology when it comes to what it brings. After the underwhelming oil painting, I kind of like it because it gives us a ton. We have bonuses to Sculptors Workshop, to Theater, to University when it comes to culture. Theater also gets a little bit more gold. It obsoletes a Music Hut and Theater of Dionysus, but we don't really mind that much. And it also brings a lot of buildings, like the Globe Theater, which is a world wonder. Very interesting. Wherever it's built, it's going to give us extra 0.2 happiness per citizen. That's a really good one. A lot of education and culture as well. Interesting. It also brings us the Mingwei's Workshop, which gives us a little bit of culture, great artist, extra free artist, and provides Mingwei's. But this one is, it requires Chinese culture. Then we have the Jagellon University, Sorbonne, University of Basel, artist guilds, and then a lot of these nice buildings like Artist Colony, Art Gallery, which is, as I think I mentioned that in the previous video, one that's gonna give us quite a lot of culture with future development. It's similar to as we were getting the science buildings. It gives a little bit of culture right now, but as time will go on, it's gonna rack in huge bonuses. Art patronage, which gives us extra bonus, percentage bonus to culture, a little bit of education and happiness, and fur farm. And also the artist colony is really good because if we build the artist colony and the art patronage, you get like 2% bonus to your culture, which is really, really, really nice. And again, like +4 and +1% is not bad. In the Constantinople alone, that's going to be a really good one. So let's just look at some of the cities, show some buildings you can build a home for. Do we have, yes, we have the farm here. Build a monastery. Build the zoo. Yeah, I have to really focus more on income though, because that one is a little bit... Tax numbers give so much money. Why? That's the thing. Why? I mean, we have a lot of these, but the income is just insane. Either way, build it. And let's just look at Constantinople, how much culture and bonuses we would get. So, the artist corner would give us 16.23. Okay, so it's immediately one of the best things you can build, and it's fairly cheap. I think we're still getting more from... Okay, Grander Festival gives us more, but I was thinking more like Theater. Go to... Those are World Wonders. So Arboretum gives us 195. Alright, so that one is better. Bardic Circle gives 22. Also gives 6. 28 from Chemistry Lab, which is kind of interesting. I don't understand. I guess chemistry helps with culture, like through chemicals you can make like paints and stuff. I'm not sure, it's a little bit weird. And then you are done. Wow, we have so many buildings here. Anything else that's interesting? Haven't really scrolled through these in a while. Percussion instrument maker also gives 17. Those are super cheap. That's really great. Now the Sculptor's Workshop also gives 18.7. The Theater gives just 13. Oh yeah, it just got a bonus from free Artistry and it's gonna get additional 7 and 7. But yeah, and the Woodwind Instrument Maker 17. Wow, we built this one in 45,828 BC. That has to be like the oldest building we have here. Oh, I wish I could just go based on years and just see which one is the oldest. Library was built in 487 BC. Alright, hunting instructions. 146,582 BC. That one has to be the oldest one. Well, never mind. I think not much else needs to be said right now. We're gonna see each other in 9 turns when we get lead glass. Oh, come on. Did we hit another... Oh, something happened. You usually get these when there is a volcano, but I don't see that one happening. Anyway, as I said, I'll see you in 9 turns with lead glass. Turn 6505 here, 1502 AD, and we are 1 turn away from lead glass. And I actually have some big news. Let me start with the overview and then we're gonna move to what I want to mention as a highlight of this update. So first of all, we still have Kherson, and I have actually been screwing up with 2P quite dramatically in the past couple of turns. The spies actually went so far that I managed to have a revolt in Taubaté, and I'm planning to do the same in Sierra. I'm not sure if it's really helping us much. I don't know intimately the calculations of cultural pressure, but I think that because they have a revolt there right now, they shouldn't be, or actually Taubaté shouldn't be adding any more culture into the area, so it should be just us against Sierra right now. And considering the city itself has a production of almost 600 culture, I'm actually kind of hoping that we might be moving our situation a little bit more in the favorable phase. It certainly seems like we have gained a little bit of territory here, but I'm not entirely sure, so I'll continue with this pressure as we're going to go through. Now, one bad thing is that the inflation still doesn't seem to be dropping. I actually found the financial advisor screen. I'm such a moron, I couldn't find it before. But inflation is still at 95.88%, so I'm avoiding any kind of investment because we get 47 from hurrying production, and you can see that it's nearly 50,000 overall. Now, we don't need to get it to complete 0, but we need to get it a little bit down because we actually are losing a significant amount of money every turn now. I'm not worried. Even if we ran to 0, I think I checked that we can... Nope, okay, so even at 0 investment in research, we would still have a deficit, but, it's going to fix itself over the time. The other cities down here are doing sort of okay, so again, no investments right now, no food trains, no supply trains, nothing like that, because they are doing good on their own. Second thing I wanted to mention is that I've passed all of my captives and all my civilian captives and military captives and everything to Greece. So you can see that their civilization is booming. They now have 3 cities, Athens, Sparta and Corinth, each with a decent amount of population. So Greece currently is at 227 score, which still makes them the weakest civilization as far as I can see in the world right now, but they're getting better. They're getting better. I should also check on Russia, a little bit more. But Russia seems to be doing all right. It has 3 strong cities, each of them fairly well defended. So I'm not really worried. And they never really were threatened in any way because they border the Americans, and there is a small border with Israel, but Israel doesn't seem to be that interested in going after them at all. So again, it's fine. I have also been upgrading the tiles here and there, moving from the logic of we need to get the most of each of the tile to we need to prioritize getting the resources rather than the actual yield from the tile. So in many places I've actually gone and destroyed farms or cities in favor of getting plantations and mines so that we get more resource related buildings, and we can benefit in our cities by building resource chains, like mines and like for jade, for example, you have a jade mine or a jade quarry, and you have a jade carver and stuff like that. So that has been a little bit has been something that I've been keeping myself busy with. Now, the last thing that I actually want to mention, and that's a big thing, is that we are founding a new city. The new city is going to be found here. I decided to do it because there is still some free space over here between us and Darius of Persia. So I thought that, hey, let's actually do it, and found another city. We should be fine culturally, and I think even as far as unrest, we have our cities settled in a place where they can take the hit. But it will require significant investment from us. I've already done some of that. You can see that we have the colonist here, 2 marshals, 5 captive civilians, a musketman. Another musketman is coming. We have entertainers, oracles, and all those moving in. And I actually did a little bit of a sidestep, and our cities, not the capital, because the capital is working on theory of evolution, but the other cities are actually working on supply trades. So once these ones are finished and they arrive, I'm gonna found the city. Not before, because otherwise we would descend into utter chaos in the city due to unhappiness. So we will need to hurry a couple of buildings like Ancient Customs, Colosseum, and probably something like Agora or something like that. I don't remember which ones give the most happiness, but it will require that. So again, once the supply trains arrive down south, we are going to found the city, have it developed by using the supply trains, and probably another wave of supply trains is going to be created and sent down south to establish the city. But again, considering the proximity to other cities, there isn't really any rush. The area is very well developed, so the city will have an easy time pushing the cultural border further south. Now, I considered settling it here or somewhere like that, but I'd rather have the border over here pushed, and this area is also not within our cultural border. Alright, well, we might have to settle another one here eventually. There has been a little bit of discussion about this in the comments. Representative democracy is going to give us democracy, which I believe is the first government that actually removes all of the penalties we get from extra cities. Because the Republic limits us to further cities, and democracy removes that completely. Yeah, so we need to get democracy, at which point we can settle a couple more cities wherever we want. So I'll use those probably to push the borders and establish the borders a little bit better. So a city, for example, could be found around here. One could be found, well then, here. Okay, if we settle here, then here. Then we could have another one somewhere like here. Maybe even here, to have like a full mountainous city, and then we can start pushing this way. Now it's kind of interesting that Philnavion still hasn't been able to push the border a little bit more. I was expecting it to be able to gain more territory, but alright, well, I also thought about settling in the steppes, but it turns out that there's a lot of these forts from Egypt. Still, this could be a good place to settle as well. Sort of a forward city. Another city could be found here. Again, I'm more interested in establishing a wide cultural border, which we can fill later, because you see there are gaps here and here, a huge gap over here. There could be another city possibly here, you know, and a number of them could be in this border region, but I'm more interested in expanding right now and then establishing later. Anyway, I think that's all that I wanted to mention for now. There's not much to mention about individual cities. There isn't a single one that will be already done with everything. Actually, one thing though, if I can show you, I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it. Because there are some cities that are taking big advantage from the entomology labs. Oh, here, maybe Varna. Yeah, Varna, I think it already finished entomology lab, but let me see. Yeah, so Varna already finished the entomology lab, and you can see that it's currently giving us 20.3 science, and it's going to finish herpetology lab soon, another 20.3 science. Ornithology lab, another 20.3 science. Then it's going to get petting zoo because it already has the regular zoo. That's another 10 science. Hotel, which is going to give us a little bit more, and taxidermist, which is going to cover probably the costs of all of these. Yeah, I think it's going to be like even. You know, the free laboratories. It's about, let's call it 20 per lab, so that would be 60, but without you, that's 48. Hotel, that's 35, and tax. Yeah, okay, so it's about even. So we have a couple of cities that can actually get all of these laboratories, and you can see it's 60 per city basically that has it. And I think they get further bonuses as we're gonna go along. So definitely not a bad idea. Anyway, with that said, now it's time to end the turn and get the glass.
That we find a crystal or a poppy beautiful means that we are less alone, that we are more deeply inserted into existence than the course of a single life would lead us to believe.
So Lead glass is one of those technologies that just give us a couple of things. In this case, literally a couple. We get Murano Glassmaker, which is a world wonder, and like, it's not a bad one. It provides crystalware. It's a world wonder, so we get a great artist and culture bonus and a little bit of money. It also gives us a free artist and free merchant in the city that builds it, but again, as far as world wonders go, it's fairly, but again, it doesn't cost much even. It's like 26 turns on a fairly developed city. So I'm probably gonna put it somewhere, and we get crystal glassware, which, you know, is just a trade thing. So not a whole lot of things. Requires glass bowls, workshop, or factory glassware. Yeah, they're fine. We're fine. The next one, though, is going to be way more interesting. Let's look at it before we end this update. Actually, you can get a butchery, which is a really good building. Culture-wise, you're doing good. So what's next? Bark. So the council would be good, but do you have any of these? You get 673, so you could finish potentially a couple of these, but they are really weak. Engineering school would be better, so let's get engineering school, city council, and then any more food producing buildings that would be good. Now let's get a trading post. Emporium. Nothing of these are really like a priority. Okay, so then family farm at this point would be just horrendous because it doesn't really give us much yield at all. So not some science buildings. There is a bunch, but they also don't help much. Education is fine, crime, disease. Well then, I guess we really don't have much of a choice. So let's build some of these, which will give you various bonuses to culture. We might want to look at some money producing buildings too, because we are really running fairly low. Yeah, these are really cheap and really quick. So let's just get a couple of these off the table. Alright, let me just get these settled again. And which one was the last one? Oh, the Weaver, yeah. And the Butcher. Alright, so that's a really nice, easy to follow list. So replaceable parts. This one is good because it gives us a bunch of buildings. Cottage industry is great. It gives 15% extra production. However, you do replace anything? No, so that's really a 15% flat bonus. That's really good. Then there's the pinball arcade, a little bit of happiness, a little bit of money, a little bit of culture. Textile mill, same thing, replaces seamstress, so it's even less of a bonus, but you know, still pretty good. I'm not gonna complain. And the last one is the wind water pump, which I'm looking forward to. It's a great one. Cities require 10% less food to grow, lowers the risk of fire, and oh no, it replaces hand water pump. Alright, so it's a 5% bonus and 5 fire fighting bonus, but still that's pretty good. Anyway, I'll see you in 14 turns with the last update for this episode with replaceable parts. By the time I think we will have the city already established. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it's doing. So till then, see you. Turn 6519, year 1506 AD, and we're one turn away from replaceable parts. So what's new? Well, a lot. Let's start by the obvious. We now have a new city called Kalea. It has population 7, and it no longer is revolting, which is kind of fun. Kalea is fairly new, as you know. It has been found just a couple of turns ago in the year 1504. Currently building the tannery, and then we're going to be working on arboretum and community garden. We have 2 healers, 2 marshals, and 2 entertainers there. So disease, crime, and education are all ramping up. We have finished the ancient customs, Colosseum. Then we have granary, library, market. These are all, and the mathematicians academy. These are all coming from the regular world wonders. You have the mining camp here, and we finished a museum. No, that's also given by our world wonders. What we finished though is the sacrificial altar, because that gives +3 happiness and is fairly good. Now we're currently at 95, and we can still hold 1 more population, and there should be some on the way, though I don't know when they will arrive. We've had 2. Can I see them somewhere? Or because they were over here, so they should be passing right around here. Yep. So these guys are coming. It's 2 captive civilians and 2 captive military. Yeah, military captives and 2 civilian captives. They will come in 11 turns, after which Kalea is going to turn to population 8. Now, once these 3 buildings are going to be finished, I'm going to turn back, of course, to getting more construction or industry-oriented buildings, and I'm gonna put in some more culture buildings. We have things like woodwind instrument maker, percussion instrument maker, you know, these ones that give a little bit of culture, because I would really like to expand our cultural border. Now I have decided not to pursue the city over here, as we discussed before, because I think that this is a little bit better position. We're gonna get way more from the surrounding tiles, and if we're lucky, we can expand the border enough to get these areas for us anyway. Now I've also done a little bit of a change in my plans, and I'm funding supply trains for Kalea, and I think we're going to continue with that even once we establish Kalea. We're going to start sending them more to our southern cities. Speaking of which, the constant revolts that we are triggering in Taubate and Sierra are actually working. Our culture in Kherson has increased to 42, and the chance for revolt has dropped to 12%. But again, I don't think that the chance to revolt is actually realistic because, well, I mean, it has been 100 turns or so, and there was still no revolt. So I think that it really is the calculation behind it. We have 36% risk and 67% revolt protection. So, we should be safe. But I'm not gonna do anything until we completely remove it. Then I'm gonna move the units that we have to other places. As far as the rest of the cities go, they are doing good. Apart from the cities that are working on world wonders like Laodicea and Constantinople, and I think Adi is also, Adi is working on the International Dog Show. Most of the other ones are focusing on getting more research points. We are currently at 73,308 per turn. And the good news is that the inflation has started to drop. We have lost a percentage from hurrying up, so we are now at the 93.84%. So, it's going to take a while to remove this. I went a little bit overboard, but I mean, we had so much money, there was really no risk. And we really needed to establish these sovereign cities so that we had a cultural buffer against the enemy cities. Alright, well, that's that. Let's just look at our current output. You can see the crop yield is now over 20,342. Actually, over 20,340. It's 20,342. Manufactured goods at 33,492. And gold is approaching 90,000. Population is closing to 12 million. Anything else that I would like to mention? I don't think so. There is a lot of entomology labs and ornithology labs and herpetology labs being built, but all of these are gonna go to the deficit, and then they will be paid for by the petting zoos and animal shelter. No, actually not animal shelters, but accounting firms and stock markets and stuff like that. So I do wonder how we're doing actually when it comes to money. I don't think we can see it here without. I mean, inflation is 48,907. I'm not sure how much of that, like 1/3? Something like 13k. We might be approaching around just a small surplus monthly. We'll see what kind of financial situation we're going to be in, because again, all of these labs and all of these enhancements that we're building for our cities really dig deep into our maintenance, as we mentioned. So we will have to start working on more of these profitable buildings. There are a lot of them, that we can build in cities, especially the southern ones, where we have things that, even after one turn will start generating us 40 gold. So yeah, I have to think about moving to those a little bit more. Anyway, really, that's all, I think. No wars, nothing else to mention. We're just continuing doing the good job. So let's end the turn and hear it for replaceable parts. Actually, let's look. 33,492. Remember this number because replaceable parts are focused a little bit on the production. Alright, and a little bit on Inventor's workshop. I mean, the workshop, watermills, windmills, we're not really building those. And then it was fiat money. We'll check it out.
The whole is more than the sum of its parts.
Alright, so our research jumped up significantly from the bonuses to Inventor's workshop. The production probably did that, because, we really are not building these much, so yeah, there's always something better like a mine to be built or something. Same with the watermills, which are starting to get a little bit better, giving us more food production and gold, but again, farms, they just seem a little bit better. So what do we get here? We get the cottage industry, we get pinball arcade, we get textile mill, and a wind farm. No, wind water pump. I want to say wind farm, but wind water pump, which is a replacement for the hand water pump. And we get fiat money. So let's see the big picture for the money. Alright, so we got the paper money, and we could switch to fiat money. So what would be the result? Okay, 10 turns for revolution, Jesus Christ. But we would get, wow, extra food, extra production, extra gold in all cities, from trade routes to science. Maintenance is the same. Can spend gold to finish production in a city. Money press. I mean, this seems like a generally great. Yeah, there really is no difference for us, but 10 turns for revolution, Jesus Christ. But it's worth it. It is definitely worth it. So it's 5% increase, so it's gonna make up for itself in about, so 20 turns would be 10, so in about 200 turns we're gonna be profiting from it, so it's definitely worth it. Alright, let's look at the other things, and then I'm gonna look at the possibility of getting that. So, wind water pump requires less to grow, we know about that. Pinball arcade. Yeah, the cottage industry really is just a queer upgrade. And it doesn't have anything even attached to it, like a cost. So that's really good. Constantinople is working on that theory of evolution, that 15% is going to be really amazing. 25 more turns. I'm actually thinking, because we're going to be losing a bit on the research here for the 10 turns, but we recently got, and I consider that maybe even a little bit ridiculous, but we got our 3rd grade engineer, so we could use him to get the rifling done, and that would basically offset the research penalty that we are going to have. So is there anything else? Nope. Then there's gonna be Constitution and Nationalism for next episode. Anything else that we want? We could get the representative democracy. Because that's what we really want. Democracy, separation of power, subsidized, incentivized. I wonder if it wouldn't be better for us to actually wait for the representative democracy, because then we get a lot of these options and we could make one big revolution after we get constitution, nationalism, and yeah, it would probably make sense. So right, you know what? We're gonna get the rifling in this episode, and then the next one is gonna end by the democracy. However, part of that is going to be lifting the limit on cities, but I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be able to prepare for that, though we should be able to. How many cities would we want? Well, I think they would want one city over here on the border. Then I would definitely want probably one city over here, as we discussed. They're getting it from a fort. Yeah. It kinda sucks. They're holding us ransom there. There's not much to expand to over here. But let's say 2 over there, we could get another one over here and here, so that would be 4. At least 3 here, so that would be 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're gonna be able to, rapidly expand. 8, 9, 10, 11. Is there anything over here? Not really, no. But here we could. So about 10, 11 cities could be found in a very short time. Is there anything over here? Not really, and that's stealing from our neighbor and vassals. I consider that a good idea. Though we could expand in this area. There is a lot of resources here that are unused. And, you know, setting up a further city over here, maybe settling along the border. But again, it's not further from our capital than this area, but it would be quite a stretch. Well, we're gonna probably start a program of rapid expansion after that, because the limit is gonna be removed. So whatever we can fund is gonna go. But the issue is that it's gonna put a big toll on Constantinople, which will be forced to, you know, we don't get any other cities which can actually build such good marshals and not doctors but entertainers. So they have to come from here, and also of course the military units, because the oh hey, we finished the Great Farmer. Alright, I missed that. So let's actually, we don't have to build him here. Let's build him in Nicomedia, for example. Can I? Yeah, I can. Alright. But I was saying, most of the, you know, the military units have to come from our capital, because that's where we get the most experience. Oh, that's Nicaea, that's not Constantinople. Come on. Yeah, you can see the difference. They get about double the experience. Or double the promotion, not double the experience. So... Oh, anyway, let's do the rifling, and then I'm gonna end the episode, and I'll see you in the next one, where we are going to move towards expansion.
Political power grows out of the barrel of a gun.
So this is one of those that give us military improvements. So Rifleman is now available, and I think a bunch of other world units. If we get a lot of cultures, we can get a sniper, which is a really good improvement. Promotion. Can attack multiple times per turn. Can use enemy roads. Minus terrain movement cost. This is a really nice one. Load for gunpowder. It requires combat 4 at least, but we do have that on some of our units. So we did a lot of things, like high walls. Not great. Those we had everywhere, so goodbye high walls. Oh! It gives us federalism. I had no idea. More food. More gold, less benefits from trade routes, but more in-cap, more culture and science as well. Increased maintenance, right? Yeah. Significantly increased maintenance. But extra birth rate. We use an extra trade route per city. Happiness, and we don't get bonuses from plantation and farms. Well, the fact that the cities get such vast bonuses to growth make it worth it on its own. But we'll see, because, I mean, federalism is a logical step from confederacy. So when we would combine it with with fiat money, it would be 17 turns. But a big difference to food production, especially. That would be like, what, 8%? Jesus Christ, that's a huge bonus. Alright, well anyway, thank you very much for joining me for this episode. Interesting things in our future. We are so close. I cannot even believe it. So close to industrial lifestyle. Like, could we throw away 3 episodes? Alright, I mean, there are things that we need to get. Hot air balloon, the Elixirs, Mind Warfare, Team Sports, and that's that. So yeah, in 4 episodes, we're gonna be in industrial lifestyle, meaning we move to the next stage of life. Can't wait, Rowan. Can't wait, and we are primed for it as well, because we're gonna get better education, so more food, more science for everyone. Oh, you need 5,000 though. That's a big jump. Scholarly education. But some cities would get that immediately. Cities require 60% more food to grow. Jesus Christ. Well, we need every bonus we can get for that. So yeah, thank you. See you next time.